Hey, good morning, everybody. Today we're going to be talking about the 7 places that you can find money, and and sometimes money can be elusive. But today I'm going to show you ways of being able to find money. In other words, we're going to go on a treasure hunt today. I'm going to show you how you can be able to find money in places that you may or may not be aware of. But here are 7 places. There are several of them. I'm just going to talk today about 7 places where you can find money. Okay, so let's just get started. When I first meet people, they ask me for financial advice. I said, well, listen, first thing I would do is I would start looking at money in places that already have money, but it's not really serving me. It's really serving the institutions where I have the money. So all my simple interest accounts, that's the first place I would look for money. And I would just move it. If you was asking me, Brother Ricky, what would you do if you was me? Well, if I had money in simple interest accounts outside of just little emergency money, I would just move it. Why? Because it's simple interest. And what? I'm not no simple person, and you're not no simple person either. People who keep their money in simple interest accounts, they treat you like you're simple. In other words, the money is not, it's in simple interest. Simple interest meaning that it's just compounded interest. It's not multiplying. So people get happy about, you know, their money interest rate just compounding. But I'm like, compounded interest is not the biblical way of saving money or the biblical way of generating money. The biblical way of generating money is the multiplication of money, not the adding of it. Compounded interest ain't nothing but add. Multiplication means that the money is multiplying. That's why the Bible says in Genesis 1 and 28, and he told the man and the woman, he said, listen, he said, be fruitful and multiply and have dominion over the earth. That's why if you started out and you said, listen, Brother Rick, can you pay me $1,000 a day for the next 35 days? I said, sure, let's go. And then you said, Brother Ricky, can you just give me a penny the first day and double my money every day for 35 days? Then I would say, okay, let's go. So if you took $1,000 a day, naturally you only have what, $35,000 at the end of 35 days. But if or $30,000 at the end of 30 days. But if you took the penny, you have over $171 million. Why? Because it multiplied. And the whole idea of finding money is to find money in places that are simple and move that money into places that multiply. Because you're not simple and I'm not simple. All right. Do we all agree with that? All right. If you're not simple, put I'm not simple or I ain't simple in the chat, and I'll teach you the next line. It's 7 things I'm teaching you today. And the first thing is, if you're gonna have some money, you can't be simple. You're gonna have some money, it's gonna have to be intentional. And that means that everything that's in a simple account where all you're doing is paying me some compounded interest is too slow because I'm gonna be dead. I'm not no simple person. I know that if I keep doing that, then I'm gonna die without no money. And my kids ain't gonna have no money, my grandkids ain't gonna have no money. Why? Because it's slow as hell. That's just common sense, right? If I got money in a savings account, it's 1%. What? 1% interest. So that means I have to be a simple person to keep doing that. Why? It takes 72 years for the money to double. I mean, how dead am I going to be in 72 years? I'm 62 years old. 72 years was, what is that? 60 plus, that's 132. I'll be 134 years old in 72 years. But I'm not that simple. So I'm not going to leave my money in those simple account. All right. And if I were you, I would just say, I would say to myself, I'm not a simple person. I'm a person. I'm a thinking man, a thinking woman, and I'm not going to leave my money in accounts that make the other people rich and make my family poor. And I have no chance of getting wealthy off that money. Zero chances. So you say, well, I leave the money in simple accounts, Brother Ricky, because I'm cautious and I'm making sure that that I actually have some money. I'm like, leaving money in a simple account is not only uncautious, but is financial suicide, because it's impossible for the money to grow fast enough for your family to be able to live off of it. So it ain't nothing safe about that. What's so safe? The only thing that's safe about leaving your money in a savings account. Okay, let's say, Brother Ricky, I got a CD. Okay, so they pay you 2%. So it takes you 36 years for your money to double. So is that safe? No, that ain't safe. So everybody with TAS in the chat, because that ain't safe. All right. You put your money in a CD, take 36 years for your money to double. That ain't safe. That's extremely dangerous. Why? Because you guarantee, you said, but I got a guarantee on that money, Ricky. I'm like, yeah, you guarantee it ain't going to grow. Why? You guarantee that money going to be made. First of all, every time you made that bank deposit, they got 10 times your money in the first place. The bank did. Every time you put that deposit into your savings account, into your CD. So they already milked you when you made the deposit. And then they gave you that little bit of interest to make sure that you can't get the money back that you put in. that little microscopic interest that you're getting, 2% interest. You would just think everybody would just snap out of that. But what I'm telling you is that when something is in your mind is perceived to be safe, you won't move that money. So you got money you already got. I'm talking to you today about the 7 places to find money. And the money, most of the time, when I'm talking to people, the first place they ought to look is the money they already got. I'm like, the money you already have is not working on your behalf. The money you already have is working on behalf of the institution that you got the money in. You say, Brother Ricky, I'm smarter than that. I got an annuity. Okay, so you make 3%. All right, so at 3%, it takes 24 years for your money to double. So now you got 24 years. So you say, in 24 years, your $1,000 will be worth $2,000, or your $10,000 will be worth $20,000, or your $100,000 will be worth 200,000 in 24 years. In 24 years, you're gonna have the 3 teeth and they missing. Are you hearing me? Talking about, you know what? God sure is good. My annuity just matured. You say your annuity just, yeah, it I doubled up on them, baby. Oh, you doubled up on them, yeah. Uh-huh. Uh, it took 24 years. Can barely talk. I hear me. Got 3 teeth and they missing and bragging, talking about. But you're not no simple person. You know, you're not no simple person. Only a simple person will leave their money in a simple account. A compounded interest account is a simple account because it's not multiplying. And the Bible doesn't teach you addition. The Bible teaches multiplication. So if you want to learn the Bible way of getting wealthy, then learn how to multiply your money. That's one reason why we put money in accounts where they give us all the money back. I mean, how much better does it get than that? I don't want to return all my money. I want the return of my money. And I want every single dollar that I put in the bank to be returned back to me every single year, all the days of my life, all the days of my kids' life. So the first thing when I ask people about, when they ask me at least about, hey, Brother Ricky, where I'm going to find the money to do this and do that, I'm like, most of the time you already got it. You just under the illusion of safety. All right. The illusion of safety. Everybody put IOS. Illusion of safety is why most people are so desperately poor because they're deceived. The illusion of safety. I'm like, are you going to live up under that? Like you don't have nothing. That money is not. You're not a simple person. Listen, so don't live up under the illusion of safety because it ain't nothing safe about an account that cannot possibly grow fast enough to be worth nothing. All right. I know it's just common sense, but we don't be practicing common sense because people be asking me, I can't find something. Like, girl, you got money in a CD, you got money in a brother, you got money in a CD, you got money in a savings account, you got money in an annuity, all that slow money. The slow money ain't no money. Why? Because it takes too long. And all of us who are mature, my age, 30, 40, 50, 60 years old, we got no time to waste. Even a 20-year-old ain't got no time to waste to be doing that stuff. Imagine if you was 20 years old and you learned what I'm teaching you and you actually started doing it. And you started actually getting your money back that you put in the bank, 100% of it every year until you're 40 years old. What the heck? You'd be a hundred millionaire just practicing the simple common sense of getting your money back instead of just a percentage of your money. Just that one principle alone will make you madly rich over a period of time. Are you hearing me? We're not in those days no more. This ain't no save no money for no 40 years type stuff, and then you're gonna live off of that. That stuff, them days is over with. Okay, are you hearing me? So that's a couple of things. I would move my money from simple accounts, and I often see people have money in life insurance policies too, and I can't understand for the life of me why they leave their money in a life insurance policy, particularly a whole life insurance policy. And I would move my money out of that. You say, why, Ricky? Because the life insurance company is the beneficiary of the cash value. You say, what do you mean? If you got $100,000 worth of life insurance and you got $10,000 worth of cash value and you die, they pay your family $100,000, but they keep the $10,000. So that means you save money for them. Did you hear what I said? I said you save money for them. Now let me tell you this in the holiest way I know how to say this. Hell no. All right. Anybody else gonna be real holy with me this morning? Put HN in the chat. Anybody else feeling holy? Hell no. No, 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 no. I'm moving that money. All right. Why? Because it make no common sense. I'm saying I ain't got no church today. If y'all was real holy today, all y'all be saying hell no. I say no to hell every day, 7 days a week. Anything got to do with hell, I say no to it. I'm like, no, I'm not doing that. No, hell no on that. No, hell no on that too. And hell no on that. And especially the idea of this fake, phony whole life insurance policy. You hear me? I told y'all if y'all want to get in touch with my friend Michael, he'll sell all y'all term insurance policies like I got $500,000 worth of coverage for 100, what I pay, $120 or something, whatever it is, $160 a month. So the family can get 500,000. I know $5. I know $10,000, and I ain't about to save my money in there for the sake of the life insurance company. I can save my own money. I got enough sense. I can invest my own money. I got common sense. I'm not no simple person, and neither are you. All right. So don't leave your money to other people. That's my recommendation. You do whatever make the most sense to you. But today I'm talking to you about 7 places where you can find money, and I just named 4 of them right there. First place you can find money is in your savings account. Get your money out. Second place, unless you just need it for emergencies. Second thing is that you got these CDs. Why you got your money in a 2% account? Get your money out there nonsense. Then you got these annuities. An annuity, when you take a settlement option on an annuity, that makes the insurance company your beneficiary too. You say, what you mean, Brother Ricky? You need to come to the challenge and ask me a question about annuity, and I'll break it down like a fraction for you and let you know that the insurance company is the beneficiary of your annuity, and a life insurance company is the beneficiary of your whole life policy. Right. I'm talking about they the beneficiary of your cash value inside of it. Yeah, they pay your family the money when you die, but they keep the money that you save. Now, if you borrow the money out that you save, then that's going to reduce the amount of money that they give your family. So if you got $10,000 in your whole life insurance policy, and your family's supposed to get $100,000, well, they only give your family $90,000 because you borrowed the money. So naturally, that means that they treating that your money like it's their money. Why? Because if you want some money out, you got to borrow it. If it was your money, you could just take it. Did you hear what I said? If it was your money, you could just withdraw it. If it was your money, and it would have nothing to do with the face value of your policy, but proof that it's the insurance company's money. Why in the world you say walk up to an institution and write them a check and say, turn my money into your money, please? Are you listening to me? I'm talking to y'all today about the 7 places where you can where you can find money at. And most of the time you can find money right in your own in the own with the way you already stuff you already putting your money in. It just ain't in your best interest. It's in the best interest of the institution. Okay. So we all did number 1. All right. Number 2, you can find a lot of money in your credit if you know how to use it. Okay. In other words, everybody write this down. Credit is capital, or credit is capital, or C equals C. All right. So that's another formula. Put it in the chat so I can make sure you got that. Credit is capital. You say, what do you mean by that, Ricky? I'm saying that when you know how to use your credit, you automatically, it's money. The credit itself is money when you utilize it. And this is another problem that people have. And one reason why they don't have much money is because they don't even understand what credit is for. They think credit is just to be paid every year, every day, to stare at the credit score and feel good about it. All right. So what they do? They put 1-800. They had a 1-800 broke as hell on your tombstone. But I had an 800 credit score. It makes no sense to die with an 800 credit score broke. That don't make no sense. What the only thing you had again was the false illusion of being what trustworthy, honest. What? Of course you're supposed to be trustworthy. Of course I'm supposed to be trustworthy. Of course you're supposed to be honest. Of course I'm supposed to be honest. What you want, a cookie? You don't get no cookie because you're an honest person. What's the alternative? Be a dishonest person? So being honest that's just coming to territory. But being wise is a whole other story. Having money is a whole other story. And to walk around with an 800 credit score to be broke is delirium. Are you listening to me? Not everybody that got money, they got their money because they used their credit. Everybody, all these companies, if you just walk down the street and look at all the businesses on your street, all the businesses downtown, they were all financed. 100% of them. Ain't nobody pay no cash for their businesses. Are you listening to what I'm talking about? They use somebody else's money to buy those businesses. Credit equals capital. And if you got good credit, put it to use. All right. You say, well, how do I put it to use, Brother Ricky? Well, come to the challenge. You can learn a whole lot about how to use money and put it to use, because I don't have time to teach y'all all this stuff when I'm talking to y'all in one day. But in a whole week, you can learn everything. So if you haven't signed up for the challenge yet, then put challenge in the chat and get the link sent to you, because next week, I'm not going to be out here talking live. Next week, we're going to be in there. We're going to be getting down and be teaching everybody what to do for these last 2 months of the year to set yourself up to get some money back in February I'll be teaching people for the last 2 months of the year how to get the whole year off and running for 2025. See, the way that you make money in 2025 is that you get set up in 2024. See, everybody want to make some money. That ain't how money is made. Money is made because it's a setup. You set that stuff up early, and then you be the benefactor of it later. All right. So if you haven't come to the challenge, just put challenge in the chat, and we'll send a link over to you. Because next week we're gonna be getting down. I'm not gonna be out here talking. Next week I'm gonna be giving my undivided attention to people who are challenging themselves to learn how this real money is made. Okay. So why do you call it a challenge, Ricky? Because we challenge people. We challenge people's IQ. All right. You can come in and ask questions. If you're in the platinum section, you can ask me questions, and I will challenge your IQ. Because I be seeing these comments people be making. Some comments people be making like, "Hey, ain't no such thing as following a Schedule B and getting 10 times your money back." I said, "Ain't no such thing for you because you ain't never did it." But I challenge your financial IQ because I got the check. All right, and I got $1 million check from the Department of Treasury. I got the check while you just talking. All right. So I know what I'm talking about, and you absolutely don't know what you're talking about. So I challenged that. I challenged it. I challenged it when the person tell me that I just got $3 million worth of write-offs on my ministry trust, doing my taxes. All right, because every penny you put into the ministry trust is a write-off. And when a person tells me that you can't do it, I'm like, I'm challenging you because I've already done it. What about you? All right. What kind of only write off you get is they getting your money right off the top. All right. So I challenge people when they try to tell me when they talking to me about money. I'm like, look, you might be smart and whatever you're smart in. All right. But when it come down to this money, I ain't just smart. I'm a genius. All right. I ain't no cat to be trifled with. I done read every book, um, every book that's got anything to do with how this real money is made. So I'm not guessing about stuff. We're not lucky. We're not hoping. We ain't wishing. Ain't no false hope and none of that kind of stuff. I don't let people manipulate me when it comes down to money. So I challenge you, any of y'all. I don't care how smart you think you are. All right. I challenge you. You come into the challenge, and I challenge what you think. And then if for whatever reason you didn't like the challenge and you said, I don't like it, Brother Ricky, I don't think it was worth my money. And you stayed there all 7 days. I mean, all 7 days, all 5 days, and you had your camera on, and you don't think it was worth 10 times what you paid, I just give you your money back. You can lie and say you didn't like it. I won't even question you. It's just on Friday, when it comes time for us to give you an offer for how you can get in our business, how you can learn what it is that we do. If you say, Brother Ricky, I don't even want to come to that offer because I didn't like the class, that's totally okay with me. I would totally respect that and give you 100% of your money back because I don't need it anyway. All right. But what you won't do is you won't be calling me all day, every day, talking about, hey, Brother Ricky, can I have an appointment? Can I do this? Can I do that? Because that's not how we operate. We operate through a challenge excuse me, once a month. And I'm fine with that. I'm fine if don't nobody even come. I'm fine. I'm like, you know why? It's because I'm like, I have a very simple life, but I'm not no simple dude. I ain't stupid. I'm not slow. And I know people will waste your time, and they'll waste your time too if you allow them to. So don't let people treat you like that. Let them know that you have a protocol, a way of doing business. And if they appreciate the way that you do business, wonderful. If they don't appreciate the way that you do business, wonderful. Why? Because your life is wonderful anyway. All right. Have a wonderful life. Okay. Not an okay life, not a pretty good life. Have a wonderful life. A life that you really enjoy on your terms. Okay. Learn things that make you extremely brilliant so that people really need you and they know they need you and you know that you don't need them. All right. Live like that. You say, that's cold, Ricky. No, that's not. That's righteous. Are you hearing me? No, nobody gets on a table about to get open heart surgery and start talking slick to the doctor. Why? Because they know they need that doctor. That doctor's about to save their life. They on there praying, saying, Lord, bless this man, bless this woman, so their hands will be gifted and help me, Lord, help me, Lord. See, that's the attitude of a person when they know that somebody's about to save their life. Well, I help literally save the financial lives of people on a regular basis. This is what I do for a living. And I know it. I'm a money doctor. So when I meet people and I know, I'm like, this is your problem, dear. This is your issue, brother. All right. And this is how I would address it if I was you. You do it that make the most sense to you. But, we make millions of dollars upon millions of dollars. And I can teach you what to do. That's what you want to know. And here are the terms that you work up under. And that's it. Okay. And if a person likes that, if they like that, cool. If they don't like that, cool. Treat people like that. Just be real good at what you're doing so that people can really benefit from what you're doing and then let them know what the rules are. And if they get with those rules, cool. All right. So your credit is capital And the beautiful thing about credit is that um, once you get enough capital, then you never have a problem keeping your credit straight because you got more than what you need. All right. More than enough. Okay. All right. More than enough. Everybody put MTE in the chat. This is the way businesses operate. Businesses don't operate on a shoestring budget. They operate with more than enough. Why? So you can afford to make a mistake if you need to, because sometimes you're going to make a mistake. All right. So everybody put MTE in the chat and I'll teach you the next thing. This is what credit is for. Credit is to give you more than enough money to be able to handle your business. You can't run a business all stressed out because you barely got enough money to pay this, barely got enough money to pay that, barely got enough. You see, millionaires, the reason that their kids come in and take over and everything start rolling again is because they already had capital to start their businesses with. The problem, the reason that people's businesses in our communities don't last is because they be trying to do the business with their own money. And I'm like, no, that's not proper. Are you listening to me? That's not biblical. Okay. You say, but I just don't like owing nobody nothing, Ricky. Your debt, your money in your pocket is debt because it was created from debt. The minute you accept a dollar bill from anybody, you just accepted some debt. So you're going to be in debt all your life. Snap out of it. Okay. It's just the right debt that's important. You ain't got no choice about being in debt. The choice is what kind of debt are you in? Are you in stagnant debt? Are you in what? Mobile debt. Are you listening to me? Stagnant debt means you don't do nothing but pay bills, come home and go to sleep. Mobile debt means that the money keeps circulating. All right. Stagnant debt is what? Death. Mobile debt is what? Life. Now, you hear what I'm saying? Mobile debt only. Everybody put it in the chat. MDO. Okay. Mobile debt only. Don't be in stagnant debt. Are you listening to me? Pay all that. Don't even get involved in all the stuff that you got to pay and have a running bill on. All right. Only get involved in the stuff that pays you back on a perpetual basis. Why? Because when you have mobile debt, that means that you get in mobile money. Are you hearing me? So the only debt you should have is mobile debt. Mobile debt only, not stagnant debt. Stagnant debt is the kind of debt that middle class people got. All they do is pay their bills. They got 800 credit scores and they ain't got no money. I'm like, you got an 800 credit score. That is your ticket. You got a 750 credit score. That is your ticket to being amazingly wealthy if you manage that right. Are you hearing me? They're like, Brother Rick, I just don't like owing nobody. I'm like, no, you are under the illusion that you don't owe anybody. But the money that you have in your pocket, dollar bills is debt because it was created from debt. So you ain't got no money. You got nothing but debt in your pocket. Are you listening to me? So understand how the system works and what create some mobile debt on purpose. All right. Just and always pay the credit cards off with the money that you make. Are you hear what I'm saying? So as long as you understand that, then you'll never be worried about. See, people, listen to me. Hear me good. All right. One reason why people don't like to use their credit is because you got to work. And people don't like real work. People like the kind of work that's dictated to them. But when you start using your credit to make money, now you have to work. Okay. Meaning that you have to create the money that pays the debt off. Now you got to work. Now you're not up under somebody else's thumb just telling you what to do. Now you have to use your brain. Now you got to use your mind. And what that's stressful for a person who is not used to working. You got people that's been working 30, 40, 50, 60 hours a week who are not used to working because work without thinking is not real work. It's fake work. It's slave labor. So you have people who will spend their whole lives doing slave labor to keep away from thinking, and that's why they won't use their credit. I'm just pulling the wool from off your eyes so that you'll understand why are in your current financial situation. All right, because if you're not, if you don't have mobile debt and you're not allowing the system to make you rich, then you deserve to be poor. And there's nothing, no need in art, no need in crying the blues and complaining and all this sort of thing about your current situation because you're not using, because this, I'm telling you where to find money. These are 7 places. I can tell you 100 places, but these are 7 places today. I'm telling you where you can find money. And most of you all, your money is right in your credit score. You did all that hard work to pay your bills and to keep them being on time and all that grinding, but basically for nothing because you ain't even using it for nothing. Are you hearing what I'm saying? It's just stagnant credit, stagnant debt. Your 750 credit score is stagnant debt. If you look at it like that, then you'll get up off that thing and dance and you'll feel better. All right. Number 4. So that's number 3. So let me make sure y'all got them right, okay? Number one, move your money from simple interest accounts. Number two, because you got money there, um, establish your credit and use your credit to get to get some money. Now you say, Brother Ricky, my credit is bad. Okay, so let me give you three things to do to help you with your credit real quick. Okay, number one, if you're renting, if you're renting, start reporting your rent to rentreporters.com. Rentreporters.com. All right. If you got bad credit, you want to straighten it out. Okay. How do I know? Because I had bad credit. I had a 500 credit score, and I went to rentreporters.com, and they started reporting my payments that I was making on this house that I was in when I was paying a house, renting a house, and Shantae's name was on the house because it was her good credit that bought this house that we were in when we was fixing it up and all that sort of thing. My credit was bad. I had money, but I had bad credit. All right, because I was good at making money, but I just hadn't addressed my credit. So it was what it was. So I addressed it. So I said, the first thing I did was I got rentreporters.com. So they started calling Shantae and said, he paid his rent. She said, yeah, he paid his rent. My credit score went up about 100 points off of that one thing. Did you hear what I said? Rentreporters.com. If you're renting, all right? And it only costs like $20. It's real cheap. $10, $20 a month, something like that. Rentreporters.com. All right. Then the second thing I would get is Experian Boost. Experian Boost, they will call, they will contact your cell phone company, they'll contact your light company, your gas company, and just ask them, did you pay your bill? And they say yes, and they'll report it to all three credit bureaus. And what happened to your credit score? It'll go shooting back up. Why? Because Experian Boost will report your stuff to all, and that's cheap too. That don't hardly cost nothing every month. All right. Are y'all getting it in here? Somebody put TU in the chat. Somebody put TU, put thank you, not with a Y, with a U. Put thank you in the chat and share this video because y'all got a lot of friends with some bad credit. I know I ain't talking to you. I know you pay all your bills, right? Okay. But just in case your cousin and just in case your cousin and I need a little help. Rewind this and send it to them, okay? You should be sharing this video with at least 10 people right now. You're like, Brother Rick just hooked us. I'm telling you, it ain't nothing like when that credit score go up. When my credit score went over seven, I couldn't remember the last time my credit score was over 700. All right. This all just happened about 3, 4 years ago. All right. I couldn't remember. See, I'm a new millionaire. I'm a baby millionaire. I ain't made another $7 million over the last couple of years. I'm a new baby millionaire. All right. I ain't no real rich dude. A new baby millionaire. What the heck? It's better than a sharp stick in your eye, ain't it? All right. at least, at least, at least a brother moving up, and I want you to move up too. All right. So when I first you got 830 credit score, go ahead. I ain't mad at you. Use it. Now don't be bragging about you got no 830 score, and I'll see you running no companies and no businesses and making it rain like a hurricane. All right. You got an 830 score, you should be making a minimum of $1 million a year just off of just some common sense stuff to be doing. All right. So it even makes sense if you didn't do nothing more than just borrow money, put it in a trust account all your bank deposits in a trust account, get all your bank deposits back off of borrowed money, and then you made 100% basically on your money, even though it's not a percent like an investment because it ain't even an investment. It's just the fact that they gave you money back because you put it into the account the right kind of way. So it makes sense to borrow money just to do that. All right. Because why? Instead of having some stagnant money sitting around. So that's number oh yeah. And and the other one is self.inc. Self.inc. This is for you all who need y'all credit score boosted up. You know your credit ain't good. All right. So or if you know somebody. All right. Self.inc. All right. You say, so what is that? So I used it. Self. They still, matter of fact, I still got an account with them now, even though my score real high. All right. A real high compared to where it was. Self.inc. They let you open up accounts. And like you say, you buy some jewelry or something, some cheap stuff, and you pay them $35 a month for the jewelry. Now you buy this little fake gold chain, right? The fake gold chain. You don't care though, and they charge you like $150 for a little fake gold chain. But you don't care because you're making a payment every month, and they reporting all three of your payments to the credit bureau. It's called Self.inc. They cold blooded. Man, they'll boost your score up so good. Just rentreporters.com, Experian Boost, and Self.inc. You won't even recognize yourself in about three or four months. It don't take no long time either. My stuff changed in about 3 to 4 months. I was like, Lord have mercy. Now, if you got something negative on top of that and you need that stuff removed, just put credit in a chat, and you can talk to my daughter. All right, because we code with that. So I got a whole credit academy involved because I know people be having issues. All right, so if you know you got issues, just put credit in the chat, and and it'll send you a message, and then you can email. It'll tell you how to email my daughter, and Shantice will hook you up. All right, she real good. She cold blooded, super cold blooded. She runs my whole credit department. All right, so she's really good at that, and she'll put you in touch. We got VAs to do that stuff. They are really good. They ain't got bankruptcies off of people credit. They ain't got people fake double mortgage payments off their credit. They done did stuff that people lawyers couldn't do. All right, they cold blooded. I'm talking about really cold blooded. So when you add all that stuff up, it ain't no reason for you to be walking around with a jacked up credit score. All right, so that's the third thing. So that's the third place I would look for money. I mean, the second place I would look for money is for credit. The third place I would look for money is in solitude. You say, what do you mean by that, Ricky? Solitude. Man, I done made so much money by myself thinking. Did you hear what I said? I found so much money by myself thinking. Solitude. Listen to me. You have a very ingenious mind because you were made in the image of God, but you need some solitude. Are you hearing me? You just need to sit. You need to sit down, get your books out, get your Bible out, get your study materials out, and nobody around, no interruptions. Solitude. That's a place where you find millions of dollars. Are you hearing me? That's where these great ideas come to your ingenious, marvelous brain. God is like, listen to me. I want to help you to become very wealthy because I'm a rich God. And I approve this message. That's what God is telling you right now. But part of your issue is that you won't spend enough time with yourself. You know, too much time scrolling, too much time talking to other people. You have to spend time with yourself. No other human beings around at all. Why you think Jesus Christ, I mean God in the flesh, would go up in the mountains and just get low? Why? He needed some solitude so he could sit over and think out what his game plan was going to be. So he could just clear the rocks up out of his head, get away from the crowd, even his own boys. All right. I'm talking about there comes a time when you can't be around nobody. Are you hearing what I'm talking about? It ain't like you lonely or depressed. No, 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 no. Matter of fact, what you'll find out is that you will really start enjoying you a whole lot more. Why? Because intricately, you get more intricately familiar with your marvelous brain because there's a lot of money in your brain. I'm telling you where to find money in. Okay. We're just on number 4 right now. And I'm telling you, there's a lot of money in your head. The only way you're going to find it, though, is or the best way for you to find it is not to be around other people. Is to have some quiet time where you are thinking, writing out your ideas, writing out your game plans. That's how you write a book. When I write my book, there's nobody around. Nobody's in a room with me when I'm writing a book. Why? Because I need solitude. And you make a lot of money if you write a good book because people are buying. I'm talking to y'all today about 7 places where you can find money. You sit down in solitude, you create um, video ideas in your mind. In solitude, you create courses that you can sell. In solitude, you create. I mean, I've sat down and written out so many things that pay me all kind of millions of dollars, and without being interrupted. See, solitude means uninterrupted. Are you hear what I'm saying? No cell phone on, nobody calling you. You should have at least an hour or 2 of that a day. I'm telling you where to find money. Okay, I'm talking about where to find money. You find money in places where ain't nobody all up in your business. Are you hear what I'm talking about? That make a whole lot of sense? Okay, all right. So solitude. Then number 4, another place where you can find money is the Bible. Man, I found so much money being a Bible student. Matter of fact, out of all the things that I've done that have helped me to make some the little money that I made, the Bible is number 1. It's the number 1 thing that taught me about because I just didn't. It taught me. It's got all this teaching about money in the Bible. And if you're around people who ain't got no money, that's because they don't even understand all the money teaching in the Bible, because there's no way in the world that you can understand the Bible and don't have no money. I say understand it, meaning that actually doing it. It's impossible. Why? Because the principles are so palpitating. The number one principle that I learned in this Bible is the principle of posterity. That's the number one principle. That's the number one place for you to go and find some money. If that's the number one idea that you'll get when you get a revelation out of the Bible. So you say posterity. What do you mean, Brother Ricky? You mean prosperity, right? No, I didn't say prosperity. I said posterity. The Bible teaches way more than prosperity. It just teaches that prosperity is just the little brother and a little sister or the child of posterity. So I'm like, you see, what do you mean by that, Brother Ricky? Jesus said the kingdom of heaven is like a man that went out looking for some treasure, and he found some treasure in the field. So he wanted to make sure, and just in case there was some more treasure in that field, he said, let me buy the entire field. You say, why is that? He said, because that way I can't miss out on the treasure that I purchased. And if there's any more treasure, I can't miss out on it. In other words, posterity means let me cut out all possibilities of not being wealthy. Jesus taught that. All right. So he's like, posterity means let me cover all the bases. In other words, posterity means a home run. All right. So put it in chat. P equals HR. Okay. Now, I know y'all got to go back over these tapes and teach it to your kids, but that's why I give you formulas so that you can teach these to your kids. All right. Because they don't have these formulas in school. So I'm teaching you, I'm teaching you real life formulas. So P equals HR. Posterity equals home runs. That means you cover all the bases. All right. Y'all got that? You'll never have to worry about having money if you got posterity as the aim, not prosperity. Prosperity is that's some little kid stuff. Posterity is the whole field being covered, meaning that it don't run out. So your mind changes and you start behaving in a kind of way where you're like, you know what? This ain't about me. This is about everybody coming behind me. So that means that I'm automatically gonna have money because all the money, I'm not making money for me. I'm making it for everybody. I wish y'all could see this picture of us when we went to Hawaii. I don't know if y'all can see this or not, but this is us in Hawaii this year at the beginning of the year. Let me see if I can find this picture. See if y'all can see it on the screen. But this is us in Hawaii. Y'all want to see this picture? Y'all want to see it? Put "show me" in the chat, and I'll show y'all this picture. Because I think it's easier if you can illustrate posterity than just to be talking about it. Put "show me" if y'all want to see it. If y'all want to see it, because if I'm boring y'all, I'll move on to the next point. Because I ain't trying to, I ain't tripping. But I just want to. Y'all want to see it? Y'all want to see this picture? I want to show y'all this picture of what posterity looks like. Okay, you want to see it? Okay, I'm gonna show it to you, Marilyn. Okay. All right, Simone, I got you covered. All right, Toolbox, I got you covered. All right, Linda, I got you covered. I got your message too, Linda. Good morning to you. Congratulations on you yesterday I got your message. Congratulations on you opening up your trust very soon. Okay, so let me see. Oh man, my phone was on a plane yesterday and went in airplane mode and my picture's getting erased, all kind of crazy stuff. I don't know what's going on here. All right, I don't see it over there. So let me see. Let me see pictures. Okay. I think that's it there. All right, appreciate your patience. But we took 20 we took 10 kids and 10 grandkids to Hawaii this year. Oh man, you know what? It ain't working. I'm sorry. I don't want to keep on on time. So, but we took 10 kids, we took 10 children, 10 grandchildren to Hawaii this year, but to teach them posterity. So we was in the mountains for a whole week, and I was just teaching them that look, this is what the expectation is of you because we have a kingdom that we're running. Okay. And this is my expectation of you as fellow citizens in this kingdom. We live in this big kingdom that God created, but He allowed us to have our little kingdom in this big kingdom to help aid His big kingdom be able to get its accomplishments done. That's what this life is about. I say, so it's very important that you not be selfish. It's very important that you be inclusive. It's very important that you be wise. It's very important that you be prudent. It's very important that you have a game plan. It's very important that you be proactive. And I just taught them, I took a whiteboard out and just taught them idea after idea. We didn't just go out and play games. We didn't just go to the Polynesian Cultural Center. We didn't just go to Pearl Harbor. We didn't just go to Waikiki Beach. And we did all that stuff. But before we did anything, we got up every morning and I got my whiteboard out, and everybody had to take their notes. That's what posterity is. All right. Posterity means that you understand that you are a mortal being and that you're going to be checking out of here and that everything that you're teaching has got to continue. All right. So posterity means what posterity means is continuous prosperity. All right. So everybody put CP in the chat so I can make sure you got that. Then I'll teach you the next idea. So I learned that in the Bible. That's the number. I'm teaching y'all 7 ways to find money, 7 places that you can find money. And the number one place I found it in is in the Bible because I understand, or I'm understanding better every day, posterity. All right. And posterity means continuous prosperity. What's the point of prospering if it don't continue? What's the point? What's doing good and then everything just stopped? I mean, it's like he was never here. All right. And I don't want strangers taking over the kingdom that I helped to build. That'd be an exercise in futility and vanity. Are you hearing me? And by the way, thank you all so much for praying for my daughter Shantice. I'm on my way to go see her as soon as I get done. I'll get straight on. I came back to Indiana, so I get my car. So I'm going straight over to see her to check on her and thank you because whenever I tell her y'all praying for her, it always makes her feel good. All right, because she's a jewel of a person, and she's part of my continued posterity. And Lord have mercy, she got to outlive me. So I'm going up in there. And I want to say this to you all. When your loved one's in a hospital, listen to me good. When your loved one's in a hospital, you have to go, okay? Because you have to make sure that the nurses are doing what they're supposed to do. You have to make sure that the diagnosis even makes sense. You have to make sure that they're not in there abusing your loved one because sometimes they do. Or sometimes they just negligent, and it could cost your loved one their very life. So don't take nothing for granted. Don't be talking about I just be praying for y'all. Let the doctors do what they're gonna do. See, broke people do that because they don't. Broke people can't leave. They can't leave wherever they are. They like, man, I'm so tied up and tangled up in this and tied up and tangled up in that. I can't come see you, baby, but I'm be praying for you. Well, I'm telling you, ain't no posterity in that. You got to preserve your posterity. That means you got to make enough money to be able to get up where you're going and handle your business. Some of y'all got 800 credit scores and can't even leave your house to go check on your loved one because you're broke as hell. I'm telling you, that's not good. I'm telling you, and it's not biblical either. All right. So move your money around. Take your money out these places that don't make you no money. Just use some common sense. Okay. Free your time up. So that when it's time for emergencies in your house, because they're coming, winter is coming in everybody's house. And winter is coming in everybody's house, got to be insulated. Okay. All right. So posterity is insulation because it gives you the ability to be able to withstand storms. Are you listening to what I'm talking about? And I learned that in the Bible. All right. Number 5, uh, home equity lines of credit. That's another good place to find money. All right. Home equity lines. Now, notice I said home equity lines of credit. I didn't say refinancing homes. I don't recommend that to people because all that happens is that you start the whole mortgage process over again when you refinance a house, meaning that they whacked you in the beginning and now you're going to start paying nothing but interest again for the next 10 years. And I would not do that. That just makes no sense whatsoever. I would not refinance no house, but I would take an equity line out of it. Why? Because again, that dormant money that's just sitting inside of the house ain't doing nobody no good. It's just a waste of time. Money inside of your house that's not being used is debt. You say, no, it ain't, Brother Ricky. My house is paid off. I feel so good about that. You feeling good and you being rich are two different things. Let me tell you something. Learn how to feel good getting rich. Stop feeling good being poor. All right. Feel good about progress. Don't feel good about stagnation. I'm amazed at how people are stagnant and feel good about it. Actually brag about it. I got 3 houses they all paid for. I'm like, okay, so that means you got what? Let's say that they all worth $500,000. So you got $1.5 million worth of equity. Yes. I'm like, and what you mean, and Brother Ricky? I'm like, and what you mean, and Brother Ricky? I'm like, is it an end into this song? They're like, I don't understand what you're talking about. I'm saying, why is your money just sitting in the house? That's what I'm saying. I'm like, what's the point of that? They're like, I'm just saying, Brother Ricky, I'm comfortable. I'm like, do you want to be rich or do you want to be comfortable? Do you want to be wealthy or do you want to be comfortable? Do you want some posterity or do you want to be comfortable? I'm like, what's your point of living? just so you can say, well, at least the kids have something. I'm like, look, teach them kids how to take that, how to use the equity that you have, start companies and businesses, and then make them start to actually have to work. Your kids work in jobs. You leave them three, four, five, six houses with equity inside of it. The only thing you did was pass them down the house. They ain't got no business sense. Why? Because you ain't teach them none. Because you resting on your laurels and happy about the fact that you paid some houses on. That stuff ain't gonna last. It's not gonna last. Why? Because the fool and their money gonna soon depart. You got to teach these kids what their responsibility is in maintaining an empire. But empires are built because you don't waste time. You don't have time for stuff to be sitting idly staring at it. And that real estate rush, that's over with. Why? Because all these houses are terribly inflated. The prices of these houses from the last 5 years are amazing. And these little gingerbread houses, the equity you got right now, that ain't gonna last like that. You better get that money while you can. You're talking about Brother Ricky. What you teaching us today? I'm teaching you 7 places to find money. And some of y'all are too smug. You're sitting on all that equity, and it ain't. You take that equity, you got your little $1 million worth of equity, and you pop in your collar. I'm like, you just wasting time. But you feel good about it because you've been around broke people. So when you've been around broke people and you got a little equity in something, you feel like you are better. You are ahead of them. But I'm like the Bible says, if we compare ourselves by ourselves, we're not wise. But if we compare ourselves based on the standard of posterity, then we realize that unless there's inheritance left to our children's children, the money is moving too slow. All right. So we take a different attitude and a different approach towards the money because we like this money is growing too slow because this is not generational money. Money sitting in a house is not generational money. That money got to get up and go. That money has to move. Are you hear what I'm talking about? So I'm teaching y'all today about 7 places where you can find money. And I found most of the time when I talk to people that are around my age and up. We done bought properties here and properties there, and sometimes I find people even gloating about the idea and happy about it. I'm like, you're gonna pass your son and your daughter some debt because money that's sitting still is debt. You're not passing them assets, you're passing them debts. They said, but that's not true. That's an asset because it's got. I'm like, no, not if it's not being used. It's just like uh, all the talent you might have. It's a talent, but if it's not being used, it's really a detriment. Why? Because when you're given something that you don't use, it's to your detriment. It's not to your gain. It's just like in the Bible when God gave those 3 people talents, those 3 men some talents, and and the third person wouldn't use his talent. So the talent that he had ended up being his detriment. Why? Because he buried that talent, and God was like, I don't give out talent not to be used. And God is like, if you really, really want to get up under my skin, then let me give you something that you don't use. So when we look at money that's not being used, we really vexing God. We think we feel good about it, but that's because we're just not taught. But all these people that's walking the face of the earth now with all this money and all these companies and these multimillionaires and everything, they using the principles of God, and a lot of them don't even believe, they don't necessarily even believe in God. But the beautiful thing about God is that you ain't got to believe in God. If you use his principle, he has to back up his principle because he said, I put my word above my name. That's why you see so many people that's got money, like, man, that person don't even love God. That person a scandalous heathen. And then you see somebody that do love God and bust the church door down every week and can't put cheese on a waffle. I'm like, yeah, because you country. Like the stuff you're doing is country. That stuff don't add up. All right. They practicing the Bible that you read about every day, and they don't even believe in the Bible, but they believe in the Bible principle. But they don't believe in it. They don't acknowledge God. You know what I'm saying? They'll talk about God, GD this, GD that, Jesus, F in Christ. Oh, you hear that stuff. You hear a lot of millionaires saying that stuff. They got a lot of money though, because the money principle ain't got nothing to do with whether or not you godly or not. The money principle got something to do with whether or not you follow the principle. And I'm teaching you the principle today of leverage. Okay. And that principle works no matter who uses it. It don't matter whether you're the most wretched heathen in the world or whether you're the most righteous brother in the world. It doesn't matter. I'm talking about money. Okay. And when it comes down to money, that money in your house ain't doing you no good. However, if you're going to take it out, my recommendation is that you get a home equity line of credit and not refinance. Now, if you're buying properties and you're buying properties to invest in, then I would do what Robert Kiyosaki does. And Robert Kiyosaki, he buys the property, he pulls the equity out, and that's different because that's not your house. So you can't get no home equity line of credit against a business property. But it's okay because with a business property, you do whatever you got to do and to refinance it. I'm talking about homes, don't refinance your home. But with a business property, if you pull the money out, then you just pay the debt back with the tenants that's still in the place. And they paying the debt back, but you got the money that you can put to use to triple, quadruple, 10 times it. You hear what I'm saying? So Robert Kiyosaki, when they talked about him, they said, "Hey, Robert, we understand that you 600 million in debt." He said, "Let me correct you. I'm 1.2 billion in debt." He said, "But it's all what?" He said, "It doesn't matter." He said, "Why? Because all that money ain't nothing but debt anyway. So that stuff don't mean nothing to me." He said, "I got assets." So he takes his money and he goes out and he turns it and he converts it to gold. That's why I buy gold and silver. That's one reason why I buy it. Because I just follow what billionaires do. I don't want to know what millionaires are doing. I want to know what billionaires are doing. Whatever they do with their money, that's what I do. I'm like, just make common sense to me. So that's why I go out and buy these silver coins and gold coins. And again, I told y'all, if y'all want to learn how to do that, just put gold in the chat. And you can talk directly to my gold representative. He can teach you how to do it too. So you call him and talk to him. His name is Wendell. And Wendell can teach you. Um, Wendell Osborne is his name. And if you just comment gold, his phone number will come up and you call and you can talk to him. Okay. All right. And because cash money, this money is not worth nothing. All right. This cash. Only reason I walk around with a pocket full of money is so I can give it away. All right. Because I know I'm gonna see homeless people. And every time I see them, I'm ready because I'm like, I was homeless and somebody helped me. So if I see somebody that's homeless, they ain't gotta ask me twice. I'm ready for them. All right. But that's why I got the worthless dollar bills, these worthless $100 bills. They worthless. They ain't worth nothing. So um, so that's what I would do. That's another place where you can find money. You can find money in your homes. Okay. And you can find money in your properties. And I would not have $1 sitting in no property just laying dormant because it ain't serving no purpose. All right. Number six. So that was that was number six. Yeah. Home equity. Oh, okay. Number six is you can find a lot of money when you come to money classes. I'm amazed at people. I'm like, don't you want to make some money? They're like, yeah. I say, so when the last time you was in money class? They're like, excuse me. I say, money class. Don't you go to money classes? They're like, no, I've never been to a money class before. I said, but you want some money? They're like, yeah, I want some money. I said, you ain't never been to a money class. They say, no. You say, Ricky, you're awful redundant. Well, I just like to talk in third grade English. All right, third grade language. Because some of the things we do, they just don't make sense. I'm like, well, no wonder you don't know much about money. You ain't been to a money class. That's why I teach. That's why I teach a challenge once a month because it's a money class. And then if you come to our challenge and you like what we do, I teach a money class every single week to people who join our group, like our legacy group we have. I teach a money class to them every single week. And people that's in my inner circle, I teach them every single week. Then every 2 weeks, I teach them how to operate out of a trust. And then once a month, I teach them how to run massive businesses. That's the people that's in my inner circle. So they come to money class, you know, 3, 4 times, 4 times, about 5, 6 times a month. You know, the people that I train, the way we train people. All right. Why? Because they know they don't know much about money. And they're like, I'm not going to sit here. I mean, I got millionaire friends who made millions of dollars in what they do for a living, but they just honest. They said, Ricky, I don't know nothing about money. They said, I know how to make money in what I'm doing, but I don't know nothing. I don't know. I don't know how to manage this money. So one more time, if you want to come to money class, just put challenge in the chat if you haven't signed up already and come to class. All right. Because all week long, I'm just going to be teaching three things: how to make money, how to multiply it, how to manage it. How to make money, how to multiply it, how to manage it. That's all I'm gonna be teaching all week long. I'm gonna be teaching how to make money because we make a lot of money online. So I'm gonna show you things, the things that we do, break down my ecosystem to you, to show you how that works and how you can do the same thing. Secondly, we're gonna show you how to manage the money because it don't make no if you got some money and you don't know how to manage it, you ain't gonna keep it no way. So you can manage money greatly through trust because trust control all the money and you ain't got none of the liabilities that you would have if you were trying to manage it. You really don't want to be managing your own money. You really want your trust to manage your money. All right. That's the second thing that you'll learn. And the third thing that you'll learn is how to multiply your money without even investing it. because because you learn how to get your deposits back that you put into the bank. So those are three things that we teach in three other things, I should say, that we teach in money school. But we teach so much more when you are with us for an entire year. Things that you went to school for 15, 20 years, and you'll learn more in our money school for a year than you learned your entire life in a college and in doctorate school and getting an MBA and all these different things. You'll learn more with us, over that period of time. Why? Because we teach in money. Those schools teach a bunch of diversion about a lot of things that ain't got nothing to do with money. And if you wonder, you say, well, how did I become 30, 40, 50, 60 years old and just don't have much money? I'm like, well, you haven't been to school. All right. So if you want to find some money, you find a lot of money in a money school because money school got money ideas, money principles, money environment. All right. So you learn about money in a money environment. So if you want to learn that, just put me in a chat because the way that you change you is to become a me. Right. Get around a money environment. See, our environment is about money. So we have plenty of it. And it's our normal way of living. So you don't come into our environment over with too much ambition. Like, hey, what you trying to do? Trying to be a millionaire? Well, we ain't even have to be no millionaire no more. That's some chump change stuff. So we ain't mad at you because you come in, you got some ambition. See, when you're not around a money environment, that's tough. It's tough on you mentally. It's tough on you emotionally. It's tough on you. Why? Because most of the people around you, they don't agree with your way of thinking. Do you feel like an oddball like right now with like most of the people, that you hang out around? Do you feel like most of the people be like, why are you so ambitious? Why are you always talking about money? Why are you always talking about getting ahead? Ain't you got nothing else to talk about? When they talking about all kind of stuff, ain't got nothing to do with nothing. All right. But they try to make you feel bad about having some ambition. Well, you don't have to worry about that around us. Why? Because we have a money environment. In other words, we're not intimidated by money. Okay. We're not greedy over money and we're not ignorant about money. Why? Because we live in a money environment. We had a conversation just like we have a conversation about anything else. Just like we want to know about being healthy, just like we want to know about being wealthy, just like we want to know about being wise, just like we want to know about how to help people. We live in a money environment. We live in an environment to do things. All right. We live in an environment to get it done. We live in an environment of what? Being resourceful. Are you hearing me? When you're in a money environment, you're around competent people. So when you start asking questions, people got the answers. And when you have a problem, people know how to help you solve it. And when you need to be inspired and motivated, everybody's already inspired and motivated. So you ain't got to come in motivating people. You just come in and be a part of the motivation. Are you hear what I'm saying? That's a money environment. And that's number six. I would come to class, money class, so I can learn. So one more time, we will have class next week. And that class is the financial IQ challenge. And the way it works is that we meet every day, Monday through Friday. We meet every day online from 11 o'clock in the morning Eastern to 1 o'clock and to 11 o'clock to 1 o'clock in the afternoon. That's if you're in the VIP section, which I highly recommend. And then you can ask questions if you're in the platinum section. You can ask me any question you want. Um, and that's really good because the questions, you hear some questions in a money environment that you haven't heard before, that you never even thought to ask. And what happens is that now you become so alert about what's going on and so capable of doing things because you never even thought about that question. That's a money environment. You know you're in a good money environment when people ask questions that you never even thought about. So when you hear the answer, you so mesmerized because you're like, man, I never even thought about that question. But that's good though. All right. I love to be in environments where people ask questions, and I'm like, man, I'm blown away by the question. I'm talking about when I go to money environments, places where people know things that I don't know, which is where I constantly put myself. And if I was you and I wanted to find some money, I go where the money is. I'm like, where are the people that's got the money? Okay. Where are these people? Where are these smart people at? Where are these unique folk at? I don't want to be around these people that ain't got no money ideas. So where do I get into that environment? I'm a pumped up individual. I'm motivated. Anybody else around is self motivated? I said anybody else that's self. If you self motivated, put SM in the chat. Is anybody around is self motivated? Uh, if you got something that's good for me to learn, you ain't got to cajole me into it. Why? Because I was motivated before I met you. And that's the environment that we have. So if you're a self-motivated individual, put SM in the chat. All right? SM in the chat. All right. That's who you want to be around. See all these brothers and sisters here, all these self-motivated people? That's where you want to come. That's who you want to be around. You want to be around people who just automatically, they ready to rock steady. And now you just show me what to do. Okay. And then the very last thing that I recommend for you, very last place for you to find money is in obedience. All right. The very last thing. This is the seventh thing. And what I mean by that, man, once you find out what to do, just do it. Okay. And you'll make a lot of money. You'll find a lot of money in obedience. In other words, before you even understand what you're fully doing, the fact that you obeyed and started doing you'll find a lot of money. You'll find a lot of money. Why? Because it's just like uh, Peter. I mean, the disciples, they was talking to Jesus about paying taxes. And they said, hey, they getting on us, about paying these taxes. It's like, what you think you better than everybody else? He said, man, he said, the children are free. We ain't even, he said, taxes. He said, that ain't even for us. He said, but you know what? Just so we don't have no drama out of them. He said, go down into the river. He said, and look and open up the fish's mouth. He said, and when you open up the fish's mouth, you're going to find a coin inside of his mouth. He said, and then you take that coin and you go ahead and pay your taxes. All right, this is what Jesus told his disciples. So they went and just the obedience of going to find the money, just the obedience of that, they found a lot of money through just the act. So, because let's face it, that sounds crazy, don't it? Go to the river and open up a fish's mouth and get a coin out of his mouth. When the last time? When the last time you went and had some dinner and had some fish fillet and a gold coin fell out on the table? Come on, that's a really bizarre statement or a bizarre edit or charge or order for Jesus to give somebody. That don't even make sense. All right. But if you try to make sense out of things before you do it, then the disobedience, it'll lead you away from the money instead of towards the money. I'm not talking about being naive and just jump off of cliffs. I'm talking about when you get good counsel from godly folk with good sense. All right. So I just put myself in them kind of positions around people. I'm like, I know they're smarter than me. So when they get ready to tell me to do this, I know it's probably gonna sound a little weird initially, but I know I'm in a good place. So I found so much money in being obedient and just moving forward based on what I was told to do from somebody who got more sense than I do. You got to let go and get around somebody that's got more sense than you if you're going to have some money, because that's where the money is. If you already had the sense, then you already had the money. So naturally, they're going to tell you to do something that don't seem like it makes sense. So here is and notice I said godly people too, though. That's the caveat. So here is Peter and them. They just go on down to the fish, and they open up the fish's mouth and ching ching. What a gold coin! What? What? It didn't say gold. It said a coin. It said get the coin out the fish's mouth. I I I believe it was gold because probably took at least a coin of gold to pay their taxes with. So that's what I believe it was. But it doesn't say. It just says go get the coin out of the fish's mouth. So if you know what the word fish meant, then you would understand why Jesus gave that edit. The word fish actually literally means posterity. So Jesus told him, he said, go down to the river and get your money from out of your posterity and pay your bills, pay your taxes, pay your tribute out of your posterity. Now, you hear what I'm saying? If you come along and decide you want to come to our challenge and get around us and this atmosphere that we live in, this money environment that we have, it is an environment of posterity. That's where we get our orders from. That's where we get our edits from. That's why we got the mind that we have. That's how we learned how all this common law stuff works. It was because we were looking for posterity. We were searching for posterity. And then God said, because you search for it, that's why I've given it to you. So that's what we do. That's what we teach on a regular basis. And those are 7 places that I would go looking for money. The last one would be obedience. Just do the thing it is that you taught. You'll learn as you go. Do some more, learn some more as you go. Do some more, learn some more as you go. And before you know it, be a very prosperous person. And just remember this: as you learn, teach somebody else what it is that you learn, and do that as quickly as possible, because that's how you learn. All right, I love you all. It's been a plum pleasing pleasure. It was a privilege. Thank you again for praying for my daughter as I go to check on my sweetheart today. I really appreciate that. I'm very grateful. You have an outstanding, phenomenal, fantastic day. Be blessed in the city and the field. And remember that stellar is as stellar does. Have a wonderful day. Take care.